Welcome to Keep It Pro Training Call, brought to you by Networking Wisdom, featuring Romacio Fulcher. Thank you all for joining us, and Happy New Year 2021. My name is Monique, and I'm introducing Romacio, the creator of Networking Wisdom, and the reason for this call each Sunday for almost 5 years at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. On this call, you will learn the skills to be successful in network marketing and in life. Romacio Fulcher is a well-respected international leader, trainer, coach, and much sought-after mentor. He is a highly successful entrepreneur with 750,000 people globally in his network and has accomplished over $1 billion in sales. Romacio enjoys having fun and sharing his wisdom worldwide. He is a multimillionaire, leader of leaders, and coach of coaches. As a top leader and a top earner, he's also a top 50 worldwide earner in MLM. At the tender age of just 25 years young, Romacio earned his first $1 million. He now has helped countless individuals from around the world. This man knows how to make money, and he knows how to make money fast. What we all like most about him is his love for God and mankind. Without further ado, I introduce to some and present to others our mentor and friend, the California kid, the marketplace minister, Mr. Romacio Fulcher. Romacio, are you there?
Absolutely, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Well, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Momo. We really appreciate you holding it down, being our host week in and week out. Thank you for carving out time just to play an important role in this call that we do. I want to welcome everybody back for another edition. This is our second call of the new year, 2021. I'm really excited for not only this call, but I'm still overjoyed behind the last call that we did to really set the new year off in motion. I really believe if this is your first time listening, or if you're just, an old faithful listener, we appreciate you, but I really want you to schedule it to go back and re-listen to what we discussed last week. I really believe with every muster of energy and strength in my body, I really believe last week's call, if you never heard from me ever again, that's all you need right there. I'm just telling you, listen, I'm going to emphasize this because I really want to drive this point home. Last week's call, if you missed it, number one, or number two, if you did hear it, I want you to go back and re-listen to the call. Last week, it's on my Facebook page. You can't miss it. Just go through there, scroll through it, boom, and listen to it. Or you can go to YouTube and find it. Re-listen to it again. Listen, anybody you listen to, myself included, any person in the world that you listen to, one of two things are going to happen when you listen. Number one, they're going to enlighten you with some information that you did not know. Or, number two, they're going to confirm some information that you already knew. So anytime you find yourself listening, you're either learning something you didn't know or something is being confirmed that you did know. Either way, either one of those are a great thing to happen to you. So even if you are the person that's hearing me now and saying, yeah, I understand last week's call. It was phenomenal. It was great. Yeah, I get it. No, go back and listen to it again. I'm just telling you, I do this myself because that call really, that'll put your 2021 not only on track. If you fall off track, that's the call to get you back on track. Come on, somebody ought to be saying, absolutely, that's it. I'm telling you, last week's call was absolutely the one, for sure. So go back and re-listen to it. You see how much I'm emphasizing that? I'm beating that horse to death. Am I? I'm beating that horse to death. Go back and re-listen to that call, okay? Now, this particular call that we're going to dive in today is going to strengthen what we talked about last week's. So I really believe if you start, with last week's and then you come forward to what we're talking about today, I really believe these two calls working together, man, you can't go wrong. You just can't go wrong. For those of you that are first-timers, maybe you stumbled on me on YouTube, maybe you came across a Facebook page, maybe a friend of yours said, hey, you got to hear this thing. You got to jump on here. Listen, we've been doing this call for 4 years, faithfully, every Sunday, the same time, same phone number, 4 years and running. And the purpose of this call, guys, it's a free call. We teach you two specific things. Number one, we teach you the specific skills that you need to get yourself to the top of whatever business you are promoting. Guys, I can't teach you how to get to the bottom. I start at the bottom, but I always end up at the top. So if you want to learn specifically how to get to the top, not just once, but over and over and over and over again, you're on the right call, okay? But number two, the second thing that we teach you is we teach you life skills as well. See, we firmly believe that as you grow as an individual, your business will automatically grow. In other words, as you grow, everything else around you will automatically grow. You know, let me say something to you, and I want you to write this down. Just remember this quote. Everything around you reflects you. Anything that you are attached to, anything that you are a part of, both personally and professionally, has a reflection of you in it. Now, that's profound. Somebody ought to send me a check. Somebody ought to send me a check. That was profound. I'm just kidding. But listen, guys, in all seriousness, anything that you're attached to, professionally or personally, it does reflect you. It does. It does. And that's not a bad thing. Don't get offended. Don't turn your nose up. Hold on. It's 2021. Okay? But what I'm saying is, again, I'm emphasizing the point that everything is a reflection of you. That's why we teach you life skills in addition to the specific skills. So both of those together will definitely take you to where you want to be. So, guys, this call is absolutely free. If you want to know what our philosophy is, it's really firm, it's really clear, and that is we believe what we make happen for others, God will gladly make happen for us. So if this is a vibe that actually resonates with you, I want to encourage you to jump on the call, spread the love about the call. Share this with people you know. It's absolutely free. Once again, we're not looking for any fanfare. We don't count the people on the call. We don't know your name. We don't know the names of companies you're with. We don't know the products or services you may be promoting, and nor do we care. That's not what the mission is of the call. Once again, this call is networking wisdom, pearls of wisdom week in and week out, dropped for free to you to help you not only get to the top, but to help you be the best version of you that you possibly can be. And I love it because it's absolutely free, and it's something that we get to do step by step, stride by stride. We get to do it together. We get to do it together. I play my role, you play your role, and we both can end up at the bank. How's that sound to you, right? All right. Now, we want to dive into the message of today, and the theme of today's call is giving is the answer. Giving is the answer. That title, I mean, I know I beat that horse to death as well. I love talking about giving. I really do, because it's the answer, I believe, to all of your problems. I really believe giving is the answer. And I know some of you may know that. Once again, I'm confirming something you know. And some of you may not have known what it is that I'm sharing with you. So I'm enlightening you with some information that you did not know. All right? But giving is the answer. Now, listen, let's take this thing, let's break this thing all the way down, okay? Let's first of all, let's start from a spiritual perspective, because we know everything starts in the spirit. And so what does it say in the Bible? John 3:16, one of my favorite scriptures. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish and have everlasting life. All right, let's break that down one more time, and I'm going to pause it, okay? John 3:16, for those of you taking notes, one more time, that's John 3:16, very famous scripture, all right? For God so loved the world that he gave. Stop right there. That's it. That's far as I want to go. For God so loved the world that he what? He gave. Now, watch how I'm going to tie this in to the next promotion. Watch how I'm going to tie this in to you getting the confirmation for the relationship that you want. Watch how I'm going to tie this in to the actual financial abundance that's actually about to land on your doorstep. Watch how I'm going to tie this into you're in that job and you just can't stand it and you've been looking for something else. You don't know what else to do. Watch how I tie this in to the entrepreneur looking for ideas on how to create new avenues of revenue. Watch how I tie this in to you being a better parent. Watch how I tie this in. Just watch. Watch how this all connects. But let's start it at the very beginning of John 3:16. What we know that's factual and truth is that for God so loved the world that he gave. Stop right there. What that tells us, what that teaches us, is that love is an action word. Love is an action word. He gave. He gave. In other words, as I began to study Scripture and as I began to get better as a man and as an individual, one of the things that I learned, and I want you to write this down, guys, one of the things that I've learned, and this is very powerful, your giving is your way out of anything. I'm going to say it so. Your giving is your way out of any problem you have. Now we're gonna really talk about this. We're gonna really open this up here. Write that down. Your giving is your way out of any problem, challenge, trial, adversity, tribulation, anything. I want to say that again. I want to say it real slow so that can sink in. Your giving is your way out. Now, hold on. Some of you depressed. Some of you sad. Some of you been waiting. Some of you just, spiritually, personally, professionally, health-wise, relationship, whatever it is. How amazing is it to know that your giving is the answer? And I'm going to break it down and go further so that you can really understand. But first of all, the concept that I want you to really see is that it's all tied to your giving. Now, I know some of you are listening and you're thinking, what type of giving is he talking about? Is he just talking about money? No. Everything from God always starts as a seed first. You and I both were once upon a time a little bitty seed. That's what we were. And look at us. We're full-grown mature now, right? Your favorite tree or your favorite flower that you can think of started as a seed. Your favorite business or your favorite athlete started as a seed. Your favorite ministry that you love to be a part of, whoever that may be or whatever that is, started as a seed. Your favorite car that you love to drive started as a seed. The way that God designed the entire world, number one was seed time. Write that down. You need to stop hearing this. You need to study what we're saying. Seed time. SEEDTIME. Seed time. Everything starts with a seed. Seed. I want you to understand the power of your seed. You are nothing but a walking, talking seed. You've got thousands of seeds in you. Thousands of seeds. Seed means the beginning, right? So the way God designed the world, seed time, number one, and number two was harvest. Seed time and harvest. Now, obviously, if you plant a tomato seed, you are expecting a tomato harvest. Oh, yeah, we're going real slow. This is fire right here, baby. This is it right here. I'm talking slow because I want you, as I'm talking, I want you to think about your personal situation. Whatever it is, whatever is the number one thing that's on your mind. I don't know what that is. You know. Whatever it is, I'm on the call today to reveal to you and to confirm to others of you that giving is the answer. And you're sitting there thinking, but giving what? What is he listen carefully. Number one, we're talking about you are a walking and talking seed. We're not just talking about money. The Bible teaches us to give praise. Whoa. Slow it down, Romacio. What'd you just say again? The Bible teaches us to give praise. What is it? The Bible teaches us what? To what? To what? To give praise. There's that giving word again. Anytime you're giving anything, that is a seed. Write that down. Anytime you are giving anything, that's a seed. For example, Monique, the young lady that's hosting the call today, she's giving her time to be a host for our call. That's a seed. She's planting the seed of her time. She could have been doing a million other things, but she took her time to give to this call. That's a seed. That's a seed. Okay? So the Bible teaches us to give praise. Okay? The Bible teaches us to give thanks, be grateful, right? I'm slowly walking you down all the different things about giving. It's not just money, although we're going to talk about money. Absolutely, we are. We're going to talk about money. See, but a lot of times for those of you that are actually expecting and waiting on a financial harvest, a lot of times people think what they need more of is they need more money. And I want you to carefully hear what I'm about to tell you. You're absolutely wrong. What you need is you need more wisdom. In the Bible, did you ever see God use money to get money? No, you didn't. You saw God use wisdom, and because of wisdom, wealth was instantly produced. Now that's profound again. It's not money that you need. What you need is you need a revelation of new wisdom. You need more wisdom. That's what you're lacking. That's what's missing. So stop saying money, because money is the end result. That's the finished work of applied wisdom, applied knowledge, right? That's the finished work is money. But you're not going to get the money until you get the wisdom first. And then you apply the wisdom, and boom, you'll have the harvest of money. So what we're talking about here is giving is the answer. So far I've told you about giving praise, giving thanks. But I've also told you that you are a walking, talking, you're full of seed. And if giving is the answer, I want you to think about the current challenges that are in your life right now. Let's slowly walk this path. I want you to think of the current challenges that you're faced with right now, whatever they are, no matter small or big. And if God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son as a seed, for you and I, look at the harvest that God got back. So you don't have to guess. You don't have to wonder if this call is accurate. I'm laying it out plain and simple for you. It all comes down to your giving. If you remember at the beginning of the call, we said what we make happen for others, God will make happen for us. In other words, if you make something happen for somebody else, that means you're giving to them. You're giving. Now look, you can give a smile, you can give time, you can give you can give your energy, you can go over somebody's house and help them clean up. There's a whole listen, guys, look, I'm not gonna give you all the answers. I'm gonna light the I'm going to create the spark and let you take it from there. I'm always reminded, this is a story I'll never forget for the rest of my life. My mom, when she would go through some very, very tough times in her life, I'm always reminded, one of the things that she taught me that she would do, she would go to the local convalescent home, or, we call it old folks home. I don't know what you call it, but we call it the convalescent home. She would go to a local convalescent home. I don't know if you can still do this as much anymore, but this is what she used to do. And she used to just go in there, and she didn't know anybody in there. And she would just go and give her time to people that she did not know. And she would just go and sit beside them in their room and say, hey, my name is Colleen. And she would talk to them, and she would just listen and ask them questions on who they were and where they were from and how much family do they have. And she would just listen to them. And listen, they did not know that she was going through some of the toughest times in her life at that specific moment. But what she chose to do was to go give her time, her love, to someone else. And here's the message. When you go and you try and make someone else's day, what's going to happen in the process of you doing that, you're going to shift the energy, you're going to shift the focus, you're going to shift the energy and end up making your own day. Let me say it again. When you go and you give, take the energy off of you. Take the energy off of your problem. God knows what your problem is. He heard you. He heard your prayer. He knows what you're going through. But now, let your faith kick in. Now, what's that mean? That simply means you're now going to believe that giving is the way out of this thing. That's your faith. You're going to believe that giving is how you get out. And so you're going to go give. You're going to plant a seed. And listen to me. Every act of gratitude is a refinement to your soul. Every act of kindness and gratitude is a refinement to your soul. So here it was, she was going through all this stuff, and we don't need to talk about it, but we all go through terrible things. And while going through, she chose to go shift the energy, shift her focus, give her time, give her love to someone else. And even though it was her worst day initially, but by her giving her time and giving her, planting a seed, giving her time, giving her energy to someone else, she ended up making her own day by giving. In other words, you took the energy, you took the focus away from you, and you put that energy to good use in a positive way to go give, and next thing you know, boom, your answer instantly came to you. Now, that's just one example, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm giving you. That's just one example. But what I am going to actually now, in the interest of time, I'm going to speed it up, and I want to talk about money. And I want to talk now, but before we talked about money, I just spent 30 minutes talking to you about you can give a whole bunch of other things other than money. I'm not going to give you all the answers. But what we know is that love is an action word. We know that when you give, according to biblical principles, it shall be given back to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. That's what the scripture says. Say it one more time. When you give, it shall be given back unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. So every seed produces after its own kind. Listen, what does that mean? You can't plant no tomato seed and all of a sudden you're going to get some celery back. That's not how it works. That's not how he set it up. Now, when we talk about giving, God is not a magician. He's not a magician. He does produce miracles day by day, but he's not a magician. This is not a magic trick. The way giving works, you give. In other words, you sow a seed, whatever that seed is, you wait, and then you receive a harvest. It's not you sow the seed and boom, tomorrow the harvest. That's not how it works. I know many of us would love for it to work that way, but that's not how the principle works. One more time. You sow the seed. You wait, and then you produce a harvest. Now, if you're like me, and, it's hard for you to wait for things, and you just, waiting is tough sometimes for you, if that's who you are, let me share with you how you can speed it up. Never stop giving. You catch that? Never stop giving. Think about it. If you were to plant seeds, watch this. We're going to talk about potatoes. If you were to plant potato seeds in the winter, in the spring, in the fall, and in the summer, let me say that again. Catch that now. If you were to plant potato seeds in the winter, spring, summer, and fall, that means if you planted potato seeds in every season, that means if you plant those seeds, you're going to be reaping a harvest all year long. Did you catch what I just said, guys? If you never stop planting, you will always be receiving something. You will always be producing a harvest. So again, as I'm talking to you, I want you thinking about whatever situation that you're going through. Some of you are on the call and you are eagerly anticipating, waiting for your promotion, for the next rank in the company that you're working with or whatever it is you're promoting. Some of you just, like they say, everybody's waiting for something. Either you're waiting on the mail to get there tomorrow or you're waiting on a baby to come forth. You're waiting on something. And I want to really impress upon everybody that if you plant all year round, if you never stop giving, you'll always continue to keep receiving. Because, write this down, every seed produces after its own kind. So what's that mean? If you sow potato seeds, you're going to reap potatoes. If you sow money, you're going to reap money. Does that make sense to you? To all that are listening, both live and on the replay, does this make sense to you so far? Now, I'm hoping that you're saying, absolutely, yes, this makes sense. Great. What I want to do now is I want to transition, and I want to talk about giving money. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. This is what I want to talk about right here. Woo! Woo! I want to talk about giving money. Listen, I was amazed. I began to go through the Bible and look at scriptures, watch videos to really educate and learn more and more and more. One of the things I learned is I didn't know this stuff, and so I get excited anytime I learn new, useful, purposeful information. I get excited anytime I learn new, purposeful, useful information. I get excited. Okay, so I begin to learn that you can plant a seed of money. You can plant a seed, and that seed that you plant can get you out of anything. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't know this. See, we're talking about faith right now. We're talking about giving, right? I didn't know that literally you can plant a seed, a financial seed, and literally you can reap a harvest of an illness cured or a disease cured. You can plant, depending upon how strong your faith is. But you can plant a seed and for restoration for a broken relationship. Oh, yeah. Again, depending upon how strong your faith is. You can plant a seed, financial seed we're talking, boom, and come into financial harvest. See, I want you to understand your seed fights for you. See, I learned that biblically speaking, spiritually speaking, the seed that you plant it in faith, it fights on your behalf. Now, let me ask you a question, guys. Do you want something fighting for you 24 hours a day on your behalf? Do you want something fighting for you 24 hours a day? If the answer is yes, I hope you're listening loud and clear to the importance of planting a seed. See, when I learned that really got me fired up. What? My seed fights for me? See, everything is spiritual first, and then it's natural second. Everything is spiritual first, and then it shows up in the physical realm. So if everything is spiritual, then doesn't it make sense to apply spiritual-based principles so that you can see heaven on earth for you? Let me say that again. If everything is spiritual, doesn't it make sense to apply spiritual principles first so that you can see heaven on earth for you? Look, we already know heaven is lavish. We already know, heaven is off the hook and it's amazing. No sickness, no argument, no fights. There's nothing but peace. We already know that, right? But God wants you to experience heaven on earth. And in order to experience it, we have to use the principles that he set before us. And this principle is something I'm super passionate about. Giving money as a seed, wrapped in faith with strong expectations of what you're expecting that seed to do. Now, I'm going to talk about something that is super powerful right now. What happens if a farmer plants a seed of potatoes, plants a potato seed, and then every single week the farmer comes back to the potato seed and he begins to dig it up? Will that potato seed ever produce a harvest? No, it won't. Likewise, when you plant a seed wrapped in faith with your expectation. Now, hold on. I want you to understand something. When you plant a seed, you should always be expecting a harvest. Now, you don't tell the person, I'm expecting God to do wonderful things in my life because I'm spending time with you today. You don't say that to them. No. That's between you and God. But when you plant the seed, wrapped in faith, with your expectations for what you desire as your harvest, you can't go dig up the seed. What does that mean? That means if you speak against it, you just planted it in faith, right? But if you speak against it, you're killing the seed that you just planted. I want to say that one more time. I want you to highlight what I just said. When you plant a seed. Now I'm going to give you some examples. Let's say you had a baby with someone and he's a bad father in your eyes, or she's a bad mother in your eyes, or you guys are in a bad marriage. And you're trying to use spiritual principles to restore that marriage, to restore that relationship. Well, what you can't do is you can't plant seeds and then speak death against the very seed that you just planted. Like, let's say you planted a seed and you're taking this thing to spiritual court. That's what I call it, spiritual court. And you're planting a seed for God to actually speak to that man's heart and to, to get him on the right track, and you're praying and you're believing that God is going to turn his heart. Because, prayer can do what you can't do. Let me say that again. Prayer can go where you can't go. Like, have you ever met a man or woman that's so strong in their belief? They're so convicted in their belief and what they have to have and what they want and what they need. They're so passionate about it that your words can't get through. So the only thing that can change them is God. In other words, you praying, staying in faith, believing that God will turn their heart. God will shift their heart. Well, you can't plant a seed and do that, and then the next thing you know, next week, he's not acting the way you hoped he would act. He's still acting bad, per se. He's still doing wrong, per se. And you're going to say all of a sudden, well, I don't believe in this no more. Forget it. Never mind. You know what? You was never nothing, Charles. And, well, I'm just making an example. So if anybody's listening to me named Charles, this ain't personal, okay? But you was never nothing, and you wasn't nothing back then, and you're not going to be nothing now, and you ain't going to ever be nothing. See, you just planted a seed 2 weeks ago expecting God to do a miracle in your life, in your family, but then there you go speaking against it because it's not happening yet, or because you don't see the harvest yet, because you don't see it yet, and it still looks bad, and now you start speaking against it. Well, when you speak against it, you're digging up the seed that you planted. Again, go back to that visual example I gave you. When a farmer plants a potato seed in good soil, he's expecting a potato one day in the future. So what's that mean? As a sign of the farmer's expectation, he waters the seed daily. He plucks out the weeds from the garden often. This is a sign of his expectation while he's waiting. He does not go and dig up the seed. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm explaining to you how it works. I know for certain that giving is the answer. For those of you struggling with sin, and look, just so you know, let me rephrase what I just said. For all of us listening, struggling in sin, let's get this straight. Ain't nobody on this call better than the next person. I don't care who you are, where you live. I don't care what your religious background is. Ain't no one on this call, both live and the replay, any better than the next. Everybody misses the mark. Did you catch that? Now go tell your mama that. Everybody misses the mark. So for those of us struggling with sin, the way that you get back is by giving praise. Asking for forgiveness, giving praise. Giving praise. God, I thank you for your mercy. I thank you for your grace. According to your scriptures, you said new grace is given daily. Oh, Lord, I thank you. I thank you. If it had not been for your grace, for your mercy, where would I be? Woo! Where would I be? So again, for people struggling with sin, again, give praise. Constantly give thanks. Constantly. Let me explain something to you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to think about a house. I want you to think about your favorite house. I want you to think about your dream house right now. Woo! Yeah. That's it. Go ahead. Okay, let me ask you some questions. What size house is it? What color house is it? How many bedrooms it got? How many bathrooms it got? What's the acreage looking like? You own an acre? No acre? How you want it? 10 acres? 5 acres? I want you to think about that dream house. What the landscape look like? What type of flooring is in that house? For you great cooks out there, what that kitchen looking like? Tell me about that kitchen. What type of appliances you working with? For you interior designers out there, What the design look like? How is it going to flow? Little windows, big windows? What we doing, huh? I want you to think about that dream house you got. Yes, go there with me, please. Go there with me. Think about it right now, that dream house. Now, when you think about that dream house, you realize that house, that very house that you're picturing in your mind right now, how beautiful and gorgeous it is. You realize that same house was first a seed in your mind first. It was a seed. You realize that same house that you're dreaming of, the very first thing that has to be done is somebody's got to lay the foundation. Somebody's got to lay the foundation. And when you lay the foundation, guys, that's the hardest part. That's the hardest part of building the house, is laying the foundation. Because the foundation is the ugly part. It's the dirty part. You see all the tractors out there, and they digging through the soil, and you got snakes in the ground, and you got all types of stuff. You got all types of stuff. When you dig in that house, when you're laying that foundation. And that foundation is hard, baby. Them men, they be having on hard steel-toe boots, hard hats. When they lay in that foundation, it is ugly. It's dirty work, but it's necessary work. Because do you realize that gorgeous mansion that you got your sight set on, that beautiful home that you're going to be living in one day soon, you do realize that somebody had to lay the foundation first. Somebody had to do the dirty work. Somebody had to plant the seeds. Somebody had to have the vision to plant the seed. You got to understand that. But this is what I want to get to right here. This is my favorite part. And I'm talking about you people that, we all struggle. We miss the mark. We miss the mark. We miss the mark in terms of sin. Just like a house being constructed, I want to talk about the word construction. You know what the word construction means? I want you to go look that up. Write that down. Construction. Construction. That means something is under construction. It ain't finished yet. Well, that's your life. So stop letting somebody hang what you did over your head 2 years ago, 3 weeks ago. Stop letting the enemy come in your mind and begin to remind you of how bad it was, and you ain't never going to have no money, and you ain't never going to have a healthy relationship, and you ain't never going to find the woman of your dreams. Stop. And just remember, your dream home has to be constructed, and so does your life. It has to be constructed. So while things are under construction, sometimes, depending upon what phase you catch what phase of the construction, what phase of the construction phase that your home is under, you might not be interested in buying that piece of property. Let me say that again. Some people, they go out there and they see the ground torn up. They see the dirt real muddy, and it just looks horrible. And the man says, you know what? No, I'm not interested in this lot. I'm not. Look at all them trees, and you got all them broken down cars on this lot. You got everything's all messed up. No. This is not the lot that I want. I'm sorry. This is not what I had in mind. What are they saying? They're saying that in its current state, I'm not interested. It's like thinking about a diamond. When they first find a diamond, nobody's interested. It ain't real pretty and shiny. In fact, it's real dirty. It's real ugly. But it's not until they polish it up and make it look real pretty that everybody wants it. What's the same thing? And that's why I'm thankful for God's grace and his mercy, because we all were lost. We all lived in sin. And it's only by his grace and his mercy that we are forgiven and made clean. But even though you're made clean, you still make mistakes. You're still under construction. You still don't know everything. And that's why, once again, I'm thankful and I'm grateful that according to John 3:16, God loved me and you so much that he gave his very best. He gave his only begotten child as a seed for our freedom, for our redemption, as a seed for our abundance, for our health, for our construction. He gave his only begotten son as a seed for you and me. Now, I don't know about you, but that's love. That's love. Say that with me. That's love. And so when you think about whatever it is you are going through, whatever it is you may be struggling with, God knew that you were going to be struggling with some things. There is no place of perfection except heaven. So forgive yourself, forgive your fellow man, forgive your fellow sister. Forgive. Forgive. You catch that? G-I-V-E. Give. There it is again. Action word. You got to do something. I want to impress upon you, every one of you, the power in giving. If you're wondering what the answer is, well, you know what? Listen, delete everything you got from your mind. Delete everything from your mind except one word, giving. Give more. That's your answer. Give more praise. Give more honor. Give more money. Give more time. Give more. That's the answer. How do we know? I dare you to go to the Bible. As a matter of fact, type it in your phone. Type in the word Solomon and see how much he gave to God. See what he did. See what he did. I dare you to study some of the scriptures, some of the examples in the Bible. Watch what Jesus did. Look how much giving he gave. Look how much giving he did. Look how much serving he did. That's a seed, ladies and gentlemen. Giving is the answer. Now, look, let me close with this. I know it's not easy to give when you're upset, you're frustrated, you're disappointed, you're hurt. I know it's not, but that's when you really got to do it. That's when you got to. That's when you really got to do it. It's when you don't want to do it. That's when you really got to do it. When you're really struggling financially, that's when you really got to do it. When you're really struggling, in your relationship, that's when you really got to do it. When your kids is acting a fool and they're not acting like they're your kids, that's when you really got to do it. When your parents that you love, they're fading, their health is waning, that's when you really got to do it. When they're talking about you in the newspapers and the promotion is taking so long for you to get it, that's when you really got to do it. When it seems like nothing is clicking, when it seems like nothing is going your way, and sometimes you're not even sure if you fit to carry on anymore, that's when you really got to do it. I want you to remember this call. I want you to listen to this call again and again and again. I know with 1 billion% accuracy, this call either enlightens you on some information that you did not know, or this call merely confirmed everything you already knew. Either way, boy, this call, it hit the nail right on the head once again. Giving is the answer. That's the answer, ladies and gentlemen. My seed fights for me. My seed. If you ever want to learn the biggest thing from me that I would hope that those of you that spend time to listen, to follow, and hear me, I want you to give more. Be a giver. If you're not so much of a giver, I want you to pray about it. You're under construction. Somebody gave for you. You can give for somebody else. And I'm talking about more than just your family. Because according to God, we all are his family. And I know that man who runs the world is not righteous. I know that men, we got a lot of, evil and hate in the world. I know what's going on. But that's never going to stop me from doing God's work. I know that sin is present 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But it's never going to stop me from giving. It's never going to stop me from giving. I know that evil is on every corner, but it's never going to stop me from giving. Because my seed, say that with me. Come on, whoever you are, say that with me. I want you to let your ears hear, your mouth say it. My seed fights for me. Say it one more time. My seed fights for me. One more time. My seed fights for me. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to do all the research you can possibly do on the power of giving. I want you to see it for yourself. Go to the scriptures. Find them. Be determined. Find them. I want you to understand this is not Romacio talking. These are biblical principles that have worked and will always continue to work. Because according to John 3:16, for God so loved the world, he gave a seed. Woo-wee. He gave a seed, baby. He gave a big seed. And that's why he got a big harvest. So if you want to know how to make your harvest bigger, woo-hoo, woo-hoo, woo-hoo. Anybody out there want a bigger harvest? Give a bigger seed. My man, my man, my man. Well, that wraps up the call, baby. I don't know about you, but I'm full. That's enough, Jack. That's enough. Hey, guys, I love you dearly. I'm Romacio Fulcher, the California kid, always remembering all that you do. There is nobody out there any greater than you. I love you guys. I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye, everybody.